Motion number 17 would read that AMS Assembly approve the following questions to a special 2011 winter referendum. Quote, shall it be recommended to the University Council of Queen's University that Nick Day not continue to hold the office of Rector of Queen's University at Kingston? Yes or no? So, seconded by Mr. Bishop and Mr. Rector. So we now enter debate on the motion. Now, before we move into debate, I would like to remind everyone that we're currently debating whether or not we should add this to the agenda to discuss having a referendum. So we are simply debating adding it to the agenda. So, see, that's why it's great. If people here to remind me when I make mistakes. So yeah, this is a procedural motion of debate. I'll save some time. So everyone must vote on assembly. So motion to add motion number 17 to the agenda. All in favor? All opposed? Great. Motion carries. We now have motion number 17. Further debate?
Do you want to jump on there?
Okay. That's actually a really good reminder that I forgot to mention in my speaker's business. There is the possibility that tonight's debate could become somewhat passionate or okay. And so on that note, that wasn't it. Feel free to laugh at my jokes, but for all other remarks made by members of Assembly that are maybe a debate point or a point of order, things of that nature, it is not appropriate whatsoever to laugh in regards to the content of the remark, to scoff, to roll your eyes, to clap when it is not a unanimous vote by Assembly. Although tonight, based on the seriousness of some of the issues, I'm actually going to discourage clapping unless you see me clap. But otherwise, please just keep the conduct as kind of clean and respectful as possible. So, only laugh at my jokes. Takeaway message. Okay, so further debate on the agenda. Ms. Pleven.
Ms. Pleven and Suffragans, I was hoping to move the newly added motion 17 to the front of the agenda and then follow that up by the motion regarding the move to pay, as there's big interest groups here on those issues, and I was hoping to have them at the end of my motions.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Ms. Pleven. I was already planning to do that, but thank you for making it public. So we're going to shuffle the motions a little bit. So that motion number 17, which was just added regarding the special referendum, will be the first motion after the minutes, followed directly by motion number 8, moved by Laura Sarah, seconded by Mr. Deborah, that AMS Assembly lobby the registrar's office to make the changes to the commitment to pay process and see in Appendix 1. So that is going to change. We'll do it now. Further debate on the agenda. Seeing none, closing Mr. McBeth. Okay, so we now move into voting on motion number 1, moved by Cal McBeth, seconded by Chris Radnicki, that AMS Assembly approve the agenda of the Assembly meeting of March 10th, 2011. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Motion number 2, moved by Cal McBeth, seconded by Chris Radnicki, that AMS Assembly approve the minutes for the Assembly meeting of February 17th, 2011. Opening, Mr. McBeth.
Cal McBeth, Commissioner of Internal Affairs. As you may or may not have noticed, the minutes this week are a little bit seemingly unedited. Our scribe, who is not our regular scribe, Haley, is not here tonight, as you can see by Mr. Edmund's lovely face sitting in her good laptop. So she was very busy with running a conference, I believe, or a show. That's the way so she's involved with the show and also had a very heavy academic load. So unfortunately, the final edited minutes weren't able to get into me. So they will be sort of circulated shortly, but for right now, we just have to go with the unedited rough draft, which was sent out to the center.
Okay, I see a question from the gallery debating on the minutes, I'm guessing?
Yeah, Rachel Shimon, I guess, member at large or independent And I know I personally spoke a lot at the last meeting. I was wondering if you could table this until I have a chance to read them and see if what I said was accurately represented.
So you can make a motion to table this motion?
Then I would like to do that, yes.
Okay, so, motion, can I get a second? And Mr. Angelos, so, motion by Rachel Shipman, seconded by Laura Angelos, that we table motion number 2, which is moved by Calvin Beth, seconded by Chris Ricky, regarding the minutes of February 17th. So again, procedural motion. All in favor of tabling the motion? All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we now move on to motion number 17, moved by Rector, seconded by Mackenzie Dixon, that AMS Assembly approve the following question to a special 2011 winter referendum. Quote, shall it be recommended to the University Council of Queen's University that Nick Day not continue to hold the office of Rector of Queen's University at Kingston, yes or no? Opening, Mr. Gregg. I guess give this a try.
That I'm not going to say a great deal about the motion right now. We don't need to speak on it. I'm sure that I'll just add that my interest that all of these signatures reflected in the last 30 hours. That really shows the passion that so many students on this campus have for having this move forward. So I look forward to the discussion and something that all wants to support there.
Great. Thank you for the opening, Mr. Gregg. So we're going to now debate on the motion. So for those of you again unfamiliar, please raise your hand or placard if you'd like to speak. We'll do our best to add names to the speakers list as we see them. If you're behind me, just kind of yell quietly. If you've already spoken, you will be put at the bottom of the speakers list behind everyone else who has not spoken, just so you're clear why it may take so long. So debate starting with Mr. Beth.
Alan McBeth, Commissioner of Internal Affairs. So this motion was we were given a heads up on this yesterday morning that this was coming. So after many conversations with the Chief Electoral Officer, Rob Lee, the Chief Returning Officer, Alex Miller, and any other relevant party, including myself, the rest of the elections team, and the Information Officer, Greg McKellar, we, the elections team, have concluded that the sections of AMS Constitution policy manuals regarding the reconsideration of this position of the Rector are very gray, so to speak. There is no elections and referendum policy specifically for the implementation of this section of the Constitution, which is 13.02.05. And this is just the section which recommends the removal of the Rector's office. Even though that section also references current elections and referendum policy, since the constitutional section related to the student vote explicitly states that this will be a recommendation to University Council and otherwise non-binding, it is most similar to AMS plebiscite questions. Therefore, with respect to campaigning, the student vote is best administered through the policies relating to these same plebiscite questions. However, this motion itself, this question itself, should it pass, will not be a traditional plebiscite question. There is no current mechanism for the elections team to properly administer a campaign period, and the elections team is unanimous on this front. And as a result, should this pass, we have created the following framework to use in case of this election or referendum. So again, this is if this motion passes, the elections team will carry out the following framework for an election. Starting immediately, the elections team will advertise the upcoming vote. During this time, students can communicate and take steps to educate themselves on this issue. Voting days will occur on March 22nd and 23rd. That gives 10 days between now and the actual voting days for this information to properly disseminate to the student body. And should there be any complaints arising from the actual campaign period, these will be forwarded to the AMS Judicial Committee. These will not be handled by the CRO and the CEO. And it is important to understand that the elections team is a group of student volunteers who, according to their job description, should be in the process of transitioning out. Keeping that in mind, as